The Special Investigating Unit has admitted it made an error and withdrawn its allegation against a government spokesperson, Ndabezinhle Sibiya. The SIU linked Sibiya to the 150 million rand tender awarded by the National Department of Health for the National Health Insurance Communication Strategy through a subcontractor called Sotobe Media. Now, speaking to Newzroom Afrika a little earlier, I should say perhaps last month, Sibiya said he was going to sue the SIU. Well, joining me now is the SIU spokesperson to respond to those very threats by Mr. Sibiya. This is a KZN government spokesperson, Mr. Sibiya, who says he was wrongly mentioned by yourselves in your investigations. Have you received court papers from him or his lawyers yet?
Good morning, Toli, and good morning to your viewers. Yes, we have received the court papers from him, and we have already responded to that, and we've made it very clear in the statement that we issued that we are going to defend this matter that he's putting before us.
And is that going to be an easy job for you to do that, because he says his name has been smeared and as a result of this he might suffer personal consequences? This error in judgment, take us back to how the SIU made such a judgment call.
Yeah, I heard him when I was talking to you the other day, and he was saying that we have made a mistake. It's not a mistake what has happened, and it is very clear that we made it very clear in the papers that we are looking at a possible link of him to a company called Sotobe Media. Maybe for the context, for your viewers to have context, we are investigating the contract between the Department of Health and Digital Vibes. When we follow the money, we find that money moved from Digital Vibes to a company called Sotobe Media. And as an investigating unit, we then have to look at who are the owners of this Sotobe Media, and we found a guy called Sibiya, who is not the one we are referring to. And we then have to look at the possible link to other people around. And that is the job of an investigator. We've got to do that and then eliminate those that are not found to have any links, which was the case in this case, where he was a possible link. And that is exactly how we wrote it, even in the documents that he now says are flawed and misleading and all of that. We made it very clear. There's no way. And in the interview with you, he kept on saying that we said that he's a fraudster. We've never said anything like that.
Yeah. Well, you have retracted what you said in your documents, and I think to some extent, I think you even apologized for the error. It would appear that he's not willing to accept that error. He's not willing to accept that apology. What do you think is at play here, therefore?
No, we don't understand what is at play here, but it's fine. That matter is before the tribunal. We'll have to deal with it before when the matter gets to the tribunal. But there are certain things that are concerning about the posture of the way he was talking about this. For an example, he kept on saying that the report of the SIU is full of mistakes and misleading statements, and it is flawed. And that baffled me, because I was saying, but this report is clear about what happened, and it is public for everybody to read. But also, this matter is now before the High Court in Pretoria, where the former minister is taking it on review. But he has already concluded that the report is flawed. And that, to me, was very problematic. The other thing that was problematic to me in the statements that he made was the fact that he categorically says that we have misled the president. And I don't understand what the basis of that is. Just a simple example. The instances like what happened here has happened before. When for example, the people who were alleged to have killed Babita were arrested, there were 7 because they were linked accordingly to the investigation. But when they looked closer, they found one of them not to have any links to that, and then they released that person. It is part of investigations. These things will happen that way. Therefore, for him to even go to an extent of rubbishing our report because of the fact that we had said that it was a possible link, it's really baffling to me.
Well, I mean, you put it yourself that there are these issues that are baffling to an extent where he actually seeks to rubbish the entire report. I want to ask a direct question here. Do you think Mr. Sibiya is acting at someone's behest, or this is still a personal matter for him?
I wouldn't know whether he's acting on his personal behest or on behalf of others. But the kind of statements that he's making are very interesting. And that's all I can say at the moment, because the matter is before the court. But the way it comes across, it has moved away from what he calls a mistake to something bigger. Because of that, where we are basically clearly saying that there is a potential link, then that automatically moves to us misleading the president, and to us to the report being flawed, and our report being riddled with information that is not correct, and all of those things. It's something that is really making somebody wonder. Therefore, I'm unfortunately not going to be able to say he is acting on somebody's behest or on his own behest.
Yeah. Mr. Sibiya, there is another matter, and you mentioned, incidentally, the issue of Ms. Babita Deokaran, who was murdered, basically executed. We know that her alleged killers, they are before court right now. There has been some developments around this matter. In fact, an article written, I think it was published by News 24, suggesting that some of these people have made some kind of confession that they have now said that they actually were made to issue these confessions under duress, and therefore implicating the former health minister, Mr. Zweli Mkhize, and his brother. Are you aware of any of these developments? Might this affect your case in any way, shape or form?
Not at all, Tony. The matter is now before the NPA, and they are the ones who can explain what happened in that case. We are not involved. If you remember, when this matter of the killing of Babita was put out, we issued a statement to indicate that she was one of the people that were working with us. And we made it very clear that at this present moment, we don't know what the motive for her killing was. We can only say that she was a witness in our matter, but we are not aware of why she was murdered the way that she was. And we are waiting eagerly, like everybody else, to want to know what really happened. And we're watching it very closely because our name keeps on cropping into these investigations.
Kaizer Kganyago speaks for the Special Investigating Unit. Thank you very much for your time.